Hello there, amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to the next video on Star Trek Sundays. Now, this was requested to me by my very good friend and one of my best friends from school, Mr. Jamie Arrowsmith. What are my favourite starships designs from Star Trek? So, to talk about this, well, as you can see, I'm actually wearing a Star Trek t-shirt with the engineering logo from the Enterprise, from the original series, and of course, Strange New Worlds. So he's asked me to talk about my favourite designs of Federation starships. And to be honest with you, I picked 10. These are the 10 best Star Trek designs from the Federation. I absolutely love these designs, and some of these you can actually see how they have progressed during the time. So let's dive in. So in 10th place, I've had to put the NX-01 refit. Now, to show you some of these designs, I've actually got Star Trek models to help me show you these fantastic, lovely designs of vessels. But unfortunately, I really don't own the NX-01 refit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the original NX-01 and then get the picture of the NX refit and slot it in so I can talk about what I really enjoy. So talking about the NX-01, so here is the actual original design of the NX-01, which is going to be launched in 2151 to basically at some point where it gets the refit and the ship is decommissioned in 2161. So here is the original NX-01 Enterprise. And then, of course, here is the refit of the NX-01. Now, this one, I have to admit, I absolutely like this one. I love this design more than I do for the original version, which I just showed you. And to be honest with you, if I could get my hands on this model, I'm going to be absolutely happy with it because I absolutely love this design. I love the whole secondary whole of engineering to what they've actually added onto it from the original version. So, yeah. 10th place, I have to say, it's got to be the NX-01 refit. I absolutely love the refit of the NX-01. Then, of course, jumping into 9th place. Now, this one is the Antica class. So, the Antica class, it is, you can actually tell by the look of the design and stuff, it is a very, very much more developed stage from the NX-01. Because they are very similar. So, this is the Antica class, as you can see, with the warp nacelles just kind of like dropped back a bit. Here is the torpedo launcher, the bridge. I have to admit, this has got to be my second favourite, well, my 9th favourite design, because one, it looks absolutely brilliant when we see it on screen during the Dominion War, and not only that, we do kind of see it return in season 2 of Picard when you kind of got the Borg Transport Confident opening up and the Antica class basically flips out of orbit because of the interference from the actual Borg of the Borg Transport Confident. And of course, the first time we actually see this design was actually in Star Trek First Contact, where it was actually designed to fight the Borg. And this is one of the ships that were designed to fight the Borg. And I really like the design. I absolutely love the way how you have the main deflector dish there, and you can have it, and it just looks absolutely splendid. I really love that design. I have to admit, I really love it. So my 8th favourite design of Federation ships, I have to put this one in 8th place because I really do like it, and I was going to miss this one out, but I absolutely like the design more than some other Federation designs. It is the Steamrunner class. Yes, I absolutely love the Steamrunner class. Now, this, as I'm very aware of, has only appeared in a few episodes of DS9, and of course it was introduced in Star Trek First Contact, fighting the Borg in Sector 001, same as the Antica class. I absolutely love the way how you kind of got the main reflector dish hiding in here. And I believe these is the torpedo bay as well. You can actually tell where the phaser strips are, but just underneath the bridge. Yeah, I kind of like this design, I have to admit. I think it's good, and it does show the Federation making warships to fight the Borg and later on the Dominion. 7th place, I have to put this one in 7th place because I do like the original design, but I really think the refit design of this ship looks absolutely more beautiful. It has got to be the USS Excelsior refit. So the class is the Excelsior class, but I believe the very first ship time we actually see a refitted Excelsior is, of course, the USS Enterprise B in Star Trek Generations, in, of course, the first half hour of it. So this is the Excelsior refit. So much different to what we see. I mean, It looks so similar, but as you can see, we kind of have this more fatting bit put in around the main deflector dish. I have to admit, this model was actually reused in DS9 quite a few times, like for the Dominion War, where you kind of got the USS Lakeland going after the USS Defiant, when you kind of got that awesome battle going on. I absolutely do love this design for Federation vessels, the Excelsior refit. If I could say what's my favourite between the original version of the Excelsior or this one, it's got to be this one. Hands down, this is the most beautiful time the Excelsior has ever looked. Absolutely splendid and beautiful. So yeah, this is in 7th place. In 6th place now, I have to put this one in 6th place because, one, I do love this ship. I was going to try and put this in the top 5, but I couldn't really put it in the top 5. And it is basically it is the Constitution class refit. And this is the Enterprise A. I do own also the original refitted Enterprise from Star Trek 1 to 2. But I have to admit, I was going to say which is my favourite refitted design, it's got to be the A. I mean, the grey looks kind of cool, but when you kind of got the, like, black strips, as you can see along here, as well as the, you know, different type painting along the hull, it looks absolutely splendid. But this has got to be my favourite type of Constitution class. Now, in the run-up, Captain Pike's Enterprise from Strange New Worlds nearly made it into this spot, but I absolutely love the A design of the refit design. Well, basically you could say the Constitution class kind of had two major refits, from Pike's Enterprise to Kirk's Enterprise in the original series, and then of course this is the third refit design of the Constitution class. Or you could say technically it has 4 with the Enterprise G. But this one has to be the best looking Constitution class to me. I absolutely love the way how it just absolutely looks so splendid and amazing. And the way you watch it with the refitted Enterprise in Star Trek 1 to 3, it looks absolutely splendid. But I absolutely do really like this one. So this is the models of the refit Constitution class. The USS Enterprise NCC-1701, and of course we have the USS Enterprise NCC-1701A here to represent the Constitution class refitted. So yeah, that's my 6th favourite starship design for the Federation. I have to admit, the Constitution class refitted. I'm not really too fond of Kirk's Enterprise. I really think in Strange New Worlds the Enterprise looks more beautiful, but I absolutely do love the refitted Enterprise from Star Trek 1 to 3, and of course the Enterprise A as well. I really love the Constitution class refit. I have to admit, they both look kind of good, I have to admit. Then of course we are now into the top 5. So in 5th place, I'm going to have to say in 5th place, we have the Ambassador class. Yes, this is absolutely an evolution between the Excelsior class and what we're going to get for the Galaxy class. It looks absolutely brilliant. Now, this one is, as you can see, it is the USS Enterprise C, which we see in yesterday's Enterprise. And, of course, we do see an Ambassador-class fighter board cube at the Battle of War 359. Now, this one, you can kind of see it is a fantastic, like, development from the Excelsior class. But you can kind of see little echoes to the Constitution class, like for the blue reflector dish from the Enterprise, well, from the refit of the Constitution class. The warp nacelles, this is the first time they do kind of go a bit more, like, kind of chunkier than what they were on the original Enterprise. But this is the first time you kind of see the warp nacelles kind of sloping down underneath the saucer section. Because you've got the saucer section here, then of course we have the engineering section plate, and then of course the warp nacelles. I absolutely do love this design, and the way you have the phaser strips as well. And then, of course, you do have torpedo bays along here, which really just represents the Excelsior kind of type of the neck. If I show you the model of the Enterprise B, you do see evolution between these two, with the saucer looking a bit more chunkier and fatter than the Excelsior. But you can tell it is an evolution going up to the Enterprise D, aka the Galaxy class vessels. So yeah, I absolutely do love the Ambassador class, and I have to say it has got to be in 5th place. I absolutely love it. So coming into 4th now. So in 4th place of my favourite Federation vessels designs, it has to be this one. It is in 4th place, the Sovereign class. First introduced in Star Trek First Contact, and of course we do see the Sovereign classes in Star Trek Prodigy, as well as Star Trek Picard Season 2 and of course Season 3. So we do see the Sovereign classes are still about in the 25th century. So this is the Enterprise E model. Now, I absolutely do like the design of the Enterprise E. The way it's more slipped back, in a way, it's more slipped back because this was actually designed to fight the Borg. And the Sovereign class Enterprise did actually get to fight the Borg in Sector 001. But this is a battleship, so gone are the Federation ships of exploration and exploring, because with the threat of the Borg and of course with the whole Dominion War, Starfleet had to kind of develop battleships and warships. And this is what the Enterprise E was. It was a warship. So the Galaxy class housed like families aboard, where the Sovereign class doesn't really do that and doesn't have families aboard. Now, the one good thing about this design is it is very, very nose up. So you see where you got the nose. So when it comes across fighting like the Scimitar or the Borg Cube, it literally dives nose first and fires phasers. I have to admit, I really do like this one. The warp nacelles, I really do like the warp nacelles because I like how they are more developed in aerodynamics. Right, they're more developed because in the Next Generation episode they had to try and find new ways of going to warp, because the warp nacelles was basically damaging a region of space. So yeah, I have to admit, 4th place has got to be the Sovereign class for my 10 favourite Federation designs from Star Trek. I absolutely do like the Sovereign class. It's got to be my 4th favourite. And then of course, jumping into my 3rd favourite of the Federation designs, it is the Defiant class. So yes, it is a very, very small type vessel. And again, this is a battleship designed to fight the Borg, but really it was there to defend Deep Space Nine from the Dominion. And of course, we do see several Defiant classes in Star Trek's history, because we do see in Prodigy, we do see the USS Valiant, the USS San Polo in Deep Space Nine as well. So this is the Defiant class. As you can see, mine is actually the USS Defiant. Very, very small. This is where the torpedo launchers are, and it can fire phaser strips along here. It does have an aft torpedo bay, and I like how the warp nacelles are, like for the warp engines, it's really built into the design of the USS Defiant. It's really very much packed vessel, and I love the way how it's designed to go into battle, and we do see the Defiant class go into battle quite well, and she does last so well until the Breen, well, basically you come across the Breen in the Dominion War, and basically they have this kind of shield dampener, and it knocks out the Defiant, and of course the Defiant does get destroyed. But we do get another Defiant in Deep Space Nine. But I have to admit, I love this design. It was introduced in Season 3 of Deep Space Nine. Only had one movie appearance in Star Trek First Contact for the scene where the Enterprise E basically comes flying past her, because you got her fighting and the Enterprise E just kind of goes flying like that. And then of course you have them talking about the survivors of the Defiant. Yeah, but I have to admit, this is my 3rd favourite design, because I just absolutely love the whole Defiant class. It's absolutely brilliant. It's got to be my 3rd favourite. It has got to be. I love it. I just absolutely do. So, number 2. So, in 2nd place, now this one should please one of my best friends. Well, my best friend, Jamie Arrowsmith. So, my 2nd favourite Federation design has got to be the Intrepid class. Yes, this is the Intrepid class. Now, we see the Intrepid class introduced in Star Trek Voyager with the USS Voyager. And of course, we all know the history of Voyager, where it gets stranded in the Delta Quadrant. And we do see Intrepid classes because Admiral Ross has an Intrepid class in an episode of Deep Space Nine. The reason, I have to admit, I do like the whole lot of the Intrepid classes is because of the warp nacelles. So, where most ships, the warp nacelles don't move, Voyager's warp nacelles, you can't really see it on the Eaglemoss models, but the warp nacelles actually do move as the ship goes into warp. And I have to admit, I absolutely do love this design, because there's no way, if this ship was going to be stranded 75 years in the Delta Quadrant, you wouldn't really expect it to last, but it does. And this was the first ship to introduce biopacks. So where most ships of the fleet before was using like little chip things, this is the first time Federation went to biopacks to make the ship a bit more organic. And of course, this is a long-range science vessel. As you can see, we do have 2 torpedo launchers here. We have another 2 here of torpedo launchers. Now, this model, as I've said, it is the USS Voyager. And of course, Voyager is actually famous for making it back 7 years after being stuck in the Delta Quadrant, where it should have took 75 years of getting back. But it took 7 years with the help of a future Admiral Janeway going back in time and changing history. But this is the Intrepid class. I have to admit, I really love it. I love the whole design. It's really, really good for its sneakness. The sneakness is absolutely splendid. It absolutely looks absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. So, number 1. So, my all-time favourite design of the Federation fleet. So, my favourite design of the Federation fleet has got to be the Galaxy class. Yes, I absolutely love the Galaxy class. This is my favourite Federation vessel. It is my favourite. It is absolutely my favourite design of the Federation, and this is the USS Enterprise D. Now, this is absolutely a favourite. So you can imagine my surprise when we are at episode 9 for Star Trek Picard season 3, and of course we have the return of the Enterprise D. I jumped with joy because I was so happy that we see the return of my favourite Enterprise. Not just that, it is my favourite design of the Federation. Now, this is absolutely brilliant. Now, this can design, literally, this ship can hold 1,006 people. That includes crew members, that includes families, because you've got science labs, you've got schools in the Enterprise D. I love the whole warped engine, like the engine room of the Galaxy class looks absolutely amazing. I love the bridge. This has got to be my favourite starship of the Federation, and I have to admit, it's just so iconic in a way, because this has got to be one of the best ships of anything of Star Trek. If I could say from the original series, doesn't even come across it. The Connie, don't even come across it. The Galaxy class, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And of course, this is one of the big ships of the fleet, because when you look at the new Constitution Class 3 with the USS Titan, as later to become the Enterprise G, the Enterprise D is more bigger than the Titan is. And I have to admit, I absolutely do love the Galaxy class. People say it's way too 1980s with the whole design. But for me, no, it's not. It's absolutely the best design that Starfleet has ever pulled out. And it's always going to be number 1 for me. And I have to admit, I absolutely love the Galaxy class. It's just absolutely splendid. And that is my 10 favourite Federation ship designs from Star Trek. What are your 10 designs? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe, and share. And also, everybody, stay tuned for later on during the week, because I've got more Doctor Who content coming out. And just for now, live long and prosper.